Hello everyone, I'm Michaela Kathleen, and today I'm doing a video on my favorite literary names. It's a video that I'm super excited for. It's one that I thought of early on when I started booktubing, and I went and searched to see if any other booktubers had done this video, and I was really only able to find this video under baby name YouTubers. I found one from a booktuber, Lindsay from the BFCG, so I'll link her video down below if you are interested in seeing more of a booktuber's favorite literary names. The first name on my list is Hazel Grace from The Fault in Our Stars. I love that John Green usually puts so much meaning in the names that he picks for his characters. Hazel is named Hazel because Hazel is an in-between color and she's living an in-between life, between life and death, drowning and breathing, as quoted by John. And then also, Hazel's a very pretty name, but really here the name that I love is Grace. Grace has been on my list near the top for basically my entire life. The first time I ever saw the name was I had a Beanie Baby, a little mini Beanie Baby that was a praying rabbit, and her name was Grace, and she was so cute, and I thought the name was so beautiful, so it has been on my list for many years. Next, I have Alaska from Looking for Alaska. Alaska means that which the sea breaks against, which is just a really beautiful meaning for this character. And I really like place names a lot, especially ones that are more unique, and I feel like Alaska is a really unique one and also just really pretty. And my final John Green name on the list is Ben from Paper Towns. I think Ben is just a really cute short name for a boy. Next, from Uglies by Scott Westerfeld, I really love the name David. I have a cousin named David, so I don't think I would ever actually use this name for myself, for one of my own kids. But I've always really liked the name, and I really liked it in Uglies. David is probably one of my favorite romantic leads. He's just very real and a really good guy and a good character. Next, I have two names from Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. The first name I have is Reagan, who is the main character's roommate. I've always really liked president names, Reagan, Lincoln, Kennedy. So yeah, I really liked the name Reagan in this book. And the next name from this book that I have is actually a last name, and that is her professor, Professor Piper. I really love the name Piper for a little girl. I first heard it being an instructor in theater classes for little kids, and there was this little girl named Piper, and I had never heard that name before, and I thought it was so adorable, and then I read it as a last name here in Fangirl a few years later, and I still really liked it. Next, from Miss You by Kate Eberlin, I have Hope, which is the main character's little sister. This one kind of goes with Grace. I like short, cute word names like that, I guess. Grace and Hope just go together so well, I feel. I knew someone once who had two little girls named Grace and Hope, and then they got pregnant with a little boy, and I really wanted them to name him Chance because I felt like that would really complete the theme that they had going on, but they went with something else. But Grace and Hope are both really cute names. Next, from Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky, I really love the name Charlie here. Charlie has always been near the top of my list for boys' names. I think it's a name that really flows, it's really cute. I think this is a name that could work for both boys and girls, although I tend to lean more towards using it for a boy. Next, from Words in Deep Blue by Kath Crowley, I have the name Henry. Henry is one of the main characters in this book, and it just feels like a really nice old-fashioned boy's name that's still got some cuteness to it. And yeah, so Henry's another one on my list. Next, from the Spectacular Now, I have a first and last name. The main boy character is named Sutter Keely, which I think just flows together really well, both names together, Sutter Keely. But so yeah, I like the name Sutter on its own, and I even kind of like the name Keely on its own, and this was just a really good first and last name pick, which I don't often have characters where I like to say the whole name because it just goes together so well, but Sutter Keely, another good one. Next, I have both of the main characters from Replica by Lauren Oliver. This character's name, I know it is actually pronounced Lyra, which is an okay name, but I like to pronounce it in my head as Lyra, because that's how I always thought it was pronounced until watching the movie The Golden Compass, which also has a character named Lyra, and when they pronounced it that way, I was like, oh no, I thought it was Lyra, and that's much prettier. So I like the name Lyra quite a lot. And then the other main character in this book is Jemma, which I think is also a really adorable name. I first heard it on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I really grew to like it, and I liked Jemma and Fitzsimmons, those two characters together on that show. They were always adorable together. So the name Jemma really grew on me. Next, I have Princess Academy by Shannon Hale. I really liked all of the Mountain Girls' names in this book. They all felt like they went together, and it was a very well-developed, like, collection of names that felt like they could come from the same location and things, but I chose to highlight a few from this one. I really like the name Gertie for a little girl. I think it's an adorable little girl name. I do not care for the name Gertrude. That sounds like an old lady name to me, but Gertie is super cute. Next, I also like Britta from this book. I think that's a cute, short two-syllable name. A lot of these are cute, short two-syllable names. And finally, the main character, Miri, also has an adorable name. She's named after this fictional flower that grows on their mountain, which was always a very cute story, I thought. And so Miri is also a really cute name. Next, I have Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. These books are chock full of names. There were so many to choose from. I narrowed it down to just picking 3 that I really like from the Harry Potter series. The first are actually Harry's parents. I love the name James, and I love the name Lily. Lily has always been near the top of my list, right up there with Grace. And James is also quite a good name. It's one where I don't care for any of the nicknames that go with it. Maybe Jamie, but yeah. So yeah, Lily and James are both really good names, a good pair. And then the next name that I have from this series that I really love is from the final book. This character isn't introduced until the final book, and that is Ariana. And this name, I had never heard it before until I read the book. I think Ariana Grande was still on Nickelodeon at the time, and I was not watching Nickelodeon at that time, so I had not heard of Ariana Grande yet, so I had only heard it in the Harry Potter series, and I really loved it. Strangely, there was always a part of my mind that would go, Rihanna, like Rihanna the singer, and now Ariana Grande is also famous, so I don't know if I would actually use this name for those 2 reasons, but I do think it's a really pretty name that flows really well. Next, I have Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, and the name that I really love here is Peter. There are a lot of great characters named Peter Pan, Peter Parker, so yeah, I've always enjoyed the name Peter. Finally, I have the Charlie Bone series by Ginny Nimmo, and for this, I have one character's name that I really like, but they're different, well, there aren't really different pronunciations. I just didn't know how to pronounce it as a kid, so I have my 2 different pronunciations in my mind, and then there's also a nickname for it that I very much enjoy. Well, a nickname for the incorrect pronunciation, I guess. So the name from here is Amelia, but it is spelled with an E at the front, like Amelia Clark. And until Amelia Clark, and I had only read the book, and that was the only place I'd ever seen that name spelled with an E, and so I thought when I was a kid that it was pronounced Emilia, which I thought was really pretty and a really nice twist on a very common name. So I still really like the name Emilia, and I think if I like the name Amelia too, so I think if I ever were to use the name Amelia, I would use it with an A, and if I did use an E, then the pronunciation for me would be Emilia. And then, of course, also a good nickname for Emilia would be Emma, which is another one of my favorite names. And so yeah, I just really like those kind of 3 constellations of names, I guess you'd say. Amelia, Emilia, and Emma. So those were some of my favorite literary names. Let me know down in the comments some of your favorite literary names, and definitely hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications. Thanks for watching!